Never has there seemed a truer instance of you can take the boy out of the country, but you can't take the country out of the boy. Or so one would infer with Bancroft. It was only natural to predict that would be the case. Raised in a small town, he had a small town upbringing that instilled in him the small town values and consequently the small town mentality that one would assume he incorporated. It's just not the way things were. On the surface, he did make the most perfect Stepford child. Perpetually in step, Bancroft was a line tower. He always appeared to be a go-alonger. He never made waves and was always on time. He said yes, sir, and no, sir, and please, and thank you. He held doors for old ladies and took his hat off in the house. He never shirked and consistently completed the task at hand without complaining, talking back, or grumbling. Not only did he always do his homework, which he consistently turned in on time, he also listened in class and raised his hand before speaking because he would never talk out of turn. He made good grades as well. Choir boy, Boy Scout, hall monitor. Bancroft was a do-gooder, destined for ruin from the get-go. The shock of recognition had set in towards the end of his senior year. That's when he finally determined that it was time to stop eating exclusively what was put on the plate set in front of him. That's when he decided he'd try almost anything, once. After all, Mame Bennis put it so succinctly when she said that life is a banquet and most poor sons of bitches are starving to death. Live it up. There just had to be more to life than grabbing a chocolate Molson at the drive-in or loitering at the bowling alley or sneaking into the picture show to pig out on sour pickles and popcorn. When Bancroft left behind his dusty, ultra-conservative, tiny Texas town that he had called home for the better part of 17 years, he veritably launched. His launch pad? The buckle of the Bible Belt. When he went to college early, it was not so much as to get a head start as it was likely to get the hell out of Dodge. As if it were the rapture, he was convinced that he was going to a better place, and no matter where that was, it had to be an improvement well above the status quo, while in pursuit of an education, even though he knew textbooks would probably be involved, and like it or not, he would have to attend at least some classes. He never actually realized to what extent or what kind of education he was going to get, or exactly how broad his horizons would eventually become. Although The Summer of 42 was a book and a movie favorite of Bancroft's, a virgin in every sense of the word, he had never actually considered it a manual to manage one's own sex life. Besides, if that were the case, they sure left out an awful lot of integral footnotes in that appendix. Where were the road signs defining just how quickly things change, or how surprisingly partners tag team and you suddenly find yourself swapped out? Unexpected directions, twists, and death spiral U-turns can alter this journey called life while advancing toward your final destination in the great beyond. Even though events made his college years seem more like Bob and Carol and Ted and Alice, or Boys in the Band rather than Love Finds Andy Hardy, the truth is, it probably falls somewhere in the middle, which is also where he found himself a great deal of the time. So keep in mind that this will be more like a meatball sandwich on an onion roll with slaw and chili peppers, rather than a simple bologna on white bread with mayo, and you'll be fine. By the way, are you going to eat that pickle?